Reviewing NHL games of December 10th, 2018. Let's get to the first game here. The Tampa Bay Lightning beat the New York Rangers 6-3. Some notes on this. Going into this game, Stamkos had 5 goals in the last 6-game win streak that Tampa has been on. Also, another Tampa note here. When Stamkos got his second goal, because he got more than one, obviously, he became the 3rd player in franchise history to get 700 points, joining Martin St. Louis and Vincent Lecavalier. Another Tampa Bay note, Steven Stamkos, Tampa Bay note, he gets his 9th career hat trick, the most in franchise history. Now ready to get to the board. Okay, so New York actually scores first in this one. Hayes, there's a little back and forth going on here. He gets a 6th goal of the season, assisted by Strome. He's alive, all right. And Nemstinikov. There we go. Tampa ties it up. Stamkos gets his first goal, 13th of the season, on the power play, assisted by Hedman and Miller. New York should know you do not give Tampa a power play. And that's not the first time they do it. But New York goes ahead again, 2-1. Hayes again, his 2nd goal tonight, 7th of the season, assisted by Vesey. Then we go over to the second period, and then Stamkos and Tampa just take over from there. Stamkos evens the game up, gets his 2nd goal of the game. Getting that 700th point at that point, and gets his 14th goal of the season on another power play, assisted by Hedman, who gets his 2nd point of the night and point. Then the Lightning take the lead, 3-2. McDonough gets his 3rd of the season, assisted by Point, who gets his 2nd of the game, and Kucherov. 3rd period. Tampa goes up 2-3. Tampa goes up 4-2. Cirelli gets his 7th of the season, assisted by Cernak. You know, there's 7 or more Tampa Bay players with 20 plus points so far this season. If you're a fantasy poolie and you're looking for some flyers, this is it. Where was I? Okay, yeah. We were on the Tampa Bay's 5th goal. Yeah, so now it's 5-2 Tampa. Stamkos gets the hat trick, number 15, assisted by Palat and Coburn. New York shows a little bit of life. Fast makes it 5-3. He gets his 3rd of the season, assisted by Scheidel. I meant to say Scheidel. And then Tampa puts one more in for fun. They make it 6-3. Cirelli gets his 2nd goal of the game, his 8th on the season, assisted by Kilhorn, and Miller, who gets his 2nd point of the night. And that last goal, was an empty netter. Dominique makes 23 saves on 26 shots. Lundqvist makes 30 on 35. Tampa goes 2 for 6 on the power play. It's not surprising that they scored 2 goals in the power play. It's that New York gave them 6 power plays. What are you doing? New York goes 0 for 1 on the power play. See what Tampa did there? Tampa's now 9-1-0 in their last 10, and this is their 7th win in a row. New York Rangers are 4-5-1 in their last 10, this being their first loss. Next game up, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Islanders of New York 2-1 in the shootout. Basically, all I can say about this game pre-wise is that this was a goalie duel. Obviously, you can just see the score by looking at it. And both Leonard and DeSmith were fantastic in this game. First period, no goals. Second period, Beauvillier gets his 8th of the season, assisted by Bailey and Barzal. Third period, Brassard ties it up for Pittsburgh. It's 1-0. He gets his fourth of the season, assisted by Gensel. Overtime, overtime, no goals. Excuse me. And in the shootout, Kessel scores for Pittsburgh, Bailey for the Islanders, Gensel for the Penguins again, and that's the game. DeSmith saved 25 of 26 shots. Leonard saved 23 of 24. Pittsburgh went 0 for 3 on the power play, and Islanders went 0 for 4. The Penguins are now 6-2-2 in their last 10. They're coming around. This being their first win of this run now, this new run. The Islanders are 4-4-2 in their last 10. This being their first loss. Pittsburgh is now 13-10-6 with 32 points. They could do it. I know what you're thinking. They could do it. And the Islanders are 14-11-4. Also with 32 points. I'm not sure if we talked about I don't think we did. I'm just regressing back to this game just for a quick second about Tampa Bay's overall record. Both teams. Tampa Bay is now 24-7-1 with 49 points to lead the league. And I think that's by they lead all teams by at least 4 points, maybe more, maybe 5. And that might be the other teams might have game in hand, but still. And the Rangers are 14-13-3 with 31 points. Pardon me. Let's move on to the other game here. The Detroit Red Wings beat the Los Angeles Kings 3-1. What describes this game? A bad giveaway by the Kings leads to 1 goal. Great saves by Howard and incredibly accurate shots by Detroit shooters was basically what happened in this match. Detroit scores their first goal in the first period. Chalowski gets his 5th of the season, assisted by N and De La Rose. De La Rose, formerly of Montreal, I believe. Second period, Detroit goes ahead 2-0. Nielsen gets his 5th of the season, assisted by Vanek and Anasio. And then it's 3-0 still in the second. Larkin gets his 12th of the season unassisted. Third period, Kopitar makes it interesting because they would pull the goalie later in the game. But Kopitar gets his 8th of the season, assisted by Iafallo and Brown. Iafallo, who's still playing on that first line there. So with Brown and Kopitar. Howard saves 42 of 43 shots. Yeah. Quick. 18 of 21. I mean, granted, all those goals were nice goals by Detroit. They were corner pickers. So in any case, Detroit goes 0 for 1 on the power play. So does Los Angeles. Detroit is 4-4-2 in their last 10, this being their first win. Los Angeles is 4-6-0 in their last 10, this being their first loss. Detroit is now 14-13-4 with 32 points. Los Angeles is 11-19-1 with 23. Last game of the night, the San Jose Sharks beat the New Jersey Devils 5-2. By the way, I saw some of this game, and I saw some of this game as well. What do I have to say about this game before we start here? Gotta start saying I'm gonna listen to this later. I'm like, ugh. Any case, so Pavelski gets his 7th goal. Gets his 7th goal in the last 8 games in this game. For New Jersey, they were just giving away too many odd rushes, to a skilled Sharks team that basically made up the game for them. They played good for parts of the period and then sort of wilt after that. Timo Meyer for San Jose looked lethal all game. He just some amazing goals that he scored. First period, Stafford. Jersey gets the first goal, his first of the season, assisted by Severson and Green. This was a goal Jones wants to have back, and everyone was like, oh, please don't say that's a harbinger, Shark fans, because he was Stafford, I believe, was in the corner, sort of parallel to the net, and almost parallel to the net, and just kind of threw it on the net, and Jones wasn't set, beside the post, and it just kind of squeezed through his leg, and just a bad goal. Luckily for them, the Sharks had some fight in them because they tied up. Mir gets his first goal of the game here, his 15th of the season, assisted by Hurdle. San Jose then goes up 2-1. Pavelski gets his 20th of the season, assisted by Dylan and Carlson. He's just been, I believe it's like 10 seasons now that he's had 20 goals. He's quietly really piling up the goals this season. We're about 30 or so games in, and he's already got 20 goals. 30. Yeah, he's on pace for more than 40 goals. Obviously, he'll slow down, and all of them, of course, are like 5 feet or less away from the net. So that goal's assisted by Dylan and Carlson. Second period, San Jose goes ahead 3-1. Simic gets his first of the season, assisted by Rattle and Burns. Then Jersey makes it interesting here. It's now 3-2. A goal by Green. I believe he's the captain of Jersey. He gets his first goal of the season, assisted by Palmieri and Hershiser. Green also gets his second point of the night. Then Mir comes back to haunt them again, gets his second goal of the evening, and he makes it 4-2. Again, San Jose spreads that lead to 2 goals, and he's assisted by Dunskoy. Third period, San Jose seals the deal. Now, this was a power play goal. It was listed as unsportsmanlike conduct, and Vatanen served it. But as I was doing the boards and I was watching the game at the same time, and I was watching the Jersey feed, and they didn't seem to know what the penalty was for either. And then they cut the commercial, and then they cut back to the game, and there was no real explanation of what the penalty was for. But the Jersey coach was definitely a bit irate. He was, he wasn't Tortorella irate, but he was mad. Because, Jersey was trying to mount a comeback at that point, and that just sort of blew it out of the water. Hurdle makes it 5-2, extends the lead to 3 goals. He gets his second point of the night, 9th of the season on the power play, as I said, assisted by LeBlanc and Pavelski, who gets his second point of the night. Jones makes 22 saves on 24 shots. Kincaid, 29 on 34. Other than, Jones's first goal, both goalies didn't have really bad games. San Jose goes 1-for-2 on the power play, and Jersey goes 0-for-2. In their last 10, San Jose is 5-4-1. This is their second win in a row. And Jersey is 2-4-4, and this is their second loss in a row. Tuesday, December 11th games. There are 10 of them. We have the Coyotes, the Arizona Coyotes versus the Boston Bruins, the Los Angeles Kings versus the Buffalo Sabres, the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Carolina Hurricanes, the Vancouver Canucks versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Detroit Red Wings versus the Washington Capitals, the Florida Panthers versus the St. Louis Blues. If you watch my news release from earlier today, my NHL news update, some interesting things happened in St. Louis. They waived Chad Johnson and brought up the AHL goalie, who I can't think of his name right now, to be the backup. And there was a fight in the practice between a couple of St. Louis players. But I'm not going to tell you all. You have to go and see the video. Right. Next up we have the Ottawa Senators versus the Nashville Predators. Let's see if Nashville can get back on their game against Ottawa, but you never know what's going to happen in an Ottawa game these days. Then you have the Montreal Canadiens versus the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota would obviously really like to get back on that win streak. They're going to be desperate in that game. That should be a good one too. Then we have the Chicago Blackhawks versus the Winnipeg Jets. I'm not trying to be mean to Chicago fans, but it's one of those games. I think they've lost like 6 or 7 in a row now, Chicago. And then the last game here, we have the Edmonton Oilers versus the Colorado of Avalanche. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on today's games. Hit like if you like this video. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you know any Hockey Geek people, if you have any Hockey Geek friends, please don't feel shy about sharing. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.